Hi guys and welcome back. I know it's been a while since I've last came on here. I have been really busy with hands-on bookings lately and I decided to switch things up and only come on here when I have really exciting or something really special to share with you. So today I'm here with my model Kirsty and together we're going to show you my most requested bridal look for 2025.
This year, I've noticed a definite shift towards more naturally enhanced looks. Most of my brides are going for less coverage, softer eyeshadow looks, and more effortless feel overall. I feel like this year has been all about looking like an elevated version of your natural self. So I'm starting this look with an eyeshadow, and today I'm opting in for soft matte shades for Kirsty's eyelids. My goal here is to softly define the eyelid area. I don't want any harsh or strong eyeshadows around there. What I noticed this year is that often my brides don't even want a strong eyeshadow anymore. All we need is just a slight definition. And today I'm opting in for matte shades, but sometimes for the girls I'm also selecting an eyeshades that have a slight shimmer to them. I guess it all really depends on personal preference and overall vision of each client. Next, I need to define the lash area, and for this I'm using a MAC pencil in the shade Costa Riche, which is really beautiful, soft, warm brown. Now for this natural looks, the lash line is where all the magic is happening, and it's really important to pack the color in between the lashes. Lash line is where the most of the color concentration and definition is going to happen for this look. We now need to set our cream and pencil products with the powder of similar shade. So here you see me applying DIOR eyeshadow from Warm Essentials palette, and as you can see it is very similar to Armani's eyeshadow. So what this layering will do for us is that it will set the cream eyeshadow in place and it will stay longer and it will also photograph better. This is the part where you can get creative and select shimmery eyeshadow instead, but as I mentioned before, for Kirsty today I want to keep the look pretty matte. And as you can see here, I am duplicating the lash line with a deeper brown shade. Again, setting all of my cream products with the powder will give me longevity and a stronger definition when photographed. Towards the outer part of the eye, I decided to elongate it and also create a slight wing. Here guys, I'm using eyeshadows to do so. This will allow the look to be more soft. Now I'm switching to black eyeshadow and very fine, precise angled brush, and I'm applying it very close to the lash line. So what I want to do here is to add an extra definition near the lashes, but not disturbing the brown liner that I have created. This will bring the eye definition to the next level and will help to disguise false lashes. Now guys, this is the one for all of you who is looking for super waterproof mascara. Now this one is Heroin Make by Kiss Me. This is Japanese brand that I came across via one of my clients actually. This product is not easy to get, but I of course will link all of the products in the description link below for you so you can have a look and see if you want to purchase for yourself. But this mascara is truly one of the most long wearing and bulletproof, as I like to call it. Honestly, the product that I can vouch for. Now guys, we're going to move on to the complexion, and here is another gem, recent gem in my makeup collection. This one is the Grip Primer from Maybelline. It was actually sent to me by Maybelline in a PR package, and I absolutely love it. It's a serum, but it can be used as a primer as well. It's very grippy, and once it's applied, the foundation glides perfectly over it, and it definitely improves the stay of the foundation on the skin. Another product that has entered my kit this year and that I am absolutely in love with is this new DIOR Backstage Face and Body Foundation. Some people say that it is an improved version of MAC's Face and Body, but if I'm honest, I don't think they are similar. at all. MAC Face and Body is very sheer and it's very glowing, when Dior Backstage foundation is more on a velvet matte side of things, and the pigment in it is much stronger and it overlays imperfections much better, giving you light to medium coverage. It is also buildable, but I feel like it's the best applied in 1 or 2 layers. You can still see that the skin looks like skin, feels like skin, but the imperfections are gone. I feel this is due to the high pigment in its formula, and for bridal work, for my clientele, it works miracles. And I also want to add that this is one of the formulas that actually matches many different skin types, which is very unusual for a lot of foundations. And I am pairing my Dior Backstage foundation with Backstage concealer. If you watch my videos, you know I quite like to use the same brands for foundation and concealer, as I find that they always blend better. And this Dior Backstage concealer is also fantastic, very highly pigmented, works on many different skin types, equally can be used on dry, normal and oily skin. Of course, for oily skin will need to be powdered slightly more, but I find that the formulation of it as well is very grippy and it adheres beautifully onto the skin. And after I'm done applying the concealer underneath the eye, with whatever is left on my brush, I like to dab it in the center of the face to tie the whole complexion together and to brighten this area slightly. Alright guys, so now we're going to move on to the brows, and for Kirsty today I am using only one brow pencil actually. This one is from Limbos in the shade Blondish, which is a perfect shade for any fair eyebrows. And what I found this year is that a lot of my clients don't want any strong brow definition. We almost always opting in for very natural, very close to your natural hair or slightly lighter brow. And this pencil gives me just that. Now we need to bring some life into the skin, and of course we're going to do that by applying a blusher. As usual, I'm applying cream blusher first. This one is CORSICA from Mercier, and what I like to do this year is I apply blush in several stages. So as you can see, first I'm applying it with a brush, and then I'm dabbing it over with the beauty blender with a bit of foundation on it. This allows the blush to be pushed into the skin and almost appear as if it's naturally peeking through, which is really beautiful for bridal look. Another point I would like to address is that this year I've been putting blush really high up for most of my clients, and this is because the higher you put the blusher, the more lifted the face appears, and this is the look that a lot of girls are enjoying, and of course who doesn't want to look more youthful and plump on their wedding day. Once I'm happy with my general blush application and it doesn't look overly powering, what I like to do is I like to ask my clients to smile slightly so I can pinpoint the highest point of the cheek and dab a tiny bit more color in this area. Now next we're going to powder the face, and we will come back to blusher once again, but for now I want to show you this new product that I am obsessed with. This is All Hours powder from YSL. I received it in a PR parcel in the beginning of the year and I had quite extensive time to test it out. But what I can say about it is that it's definitely mattifying, slightly velvety in finish. It's not the most lightweight powder out there. What it does, it's almost like creates an extra layer on the skin, but in a good way. You can't trace it, but you can see that there is almost a little bit more coverage onto the skin. I hope I make sense, guys. It's the only way how I can explain what this powder does. Next, I want to bring a little bit more definition onto the face. And as you saw, guys, I didn't use any cream contouring products. This is because Kirsty's skin is more on a fair side. And when I work with a fairer clients, I like to keep things slightly more natural. And today I decided to only use this Gucci bronzing powder to slightly define the contours of the face. And by not using the creams underneath, I feel like it looks more natural on Kirsty. Again, this depends on each client and on each client's preference, but today this is my choice. Alright, now we're coming back to blusher, and today I'm showing you this YSL blush that was a huge hit on social media a few months back. My experience with this product is a little mixed. I find that it's not the easiest product in application simply because it is very pigmented, and in order to blend it smoothly you need to powder the skin first really well and apply it with a very soft brush. If the brush is harder or you didn't powder, I find that sometimes it can cling onto the areas. Okay, so now onto slight highlighting of the inner corners of the eye with DIOR highlighter, which was limited edition last Christmas. I'm loving it. And now we're moving on to the lips. So today I want to show you another product in my kit, and this is Victoria Beckham contouring sticks, which I actually like to use to contour the cupid's bow and the bottom of the lip. So what it does, it just adds a slightly darker definition onto these areas and create the appearance of a fuller lip. Next, I'm going to define the lip line. Today I'm using Charlotte Tilbury's Iconic Nude, one of my favorite lip liners for fairer skin tones. And I'm only topping it up with Chanel's lip gloss. Again, what I find this year with my clients is that girls don't often want a full lip coverage, and a lot of my girls don't even wear lipstick on a daily basis. So this is where very sheer products and a lighter application goes hand in hand with clients' preferences. We're almost in the end of my tutorial, just a few finishing touches left, and this is one of them. I like to apply cream highlighters onto the cheeks, and especially the highlighter from Charlotte Tilbury, which is Flawless Filter. And how I like to use it is just to dab a very sheer amount of it with the wet beauty blender over the highest points of the cheeks, sometimes above the eyebrows, and maybe even underneath the brow. That all again depends on a preference and each client, but what it does is that it adds a slightly more polished version to the skin, a very natural glow, as if the skin is very plump and very youthful. And of course, there is no bridal look without the chest and the décolleté area, especially if the dress is open. And today I am using Patrick Ta's Body Glow, and as you can see, I'm nearly towards the end of the tub. I've nearly finished it in a year, I think, or year and a half. I do love it for red carpet, love it for bridal. As you can see, it only adds a very slight sheer finish onto the skin, as if skin is super moisturized. Alright guys, so this is it. This is my most requested bridal look of 2025. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and also learned something new.